Welcome back. Let's head to Baltimore, where the city schools had the lowest graduation rate across Maryland during the last school year. In 2022, at least 23 of its schools had 0 students proficient in math. Maryland's Democratic governor is saying education is a top priority back in February.
We made the largest investment in public education by any governor in our state's history. We can no longer separate our vision for economic prosperity from the duty to make Maryland's public schools the best in the nation.
So he's not wrong. The Baltimore public school system is one of the most funded in the nation, among the top tier in funding, 4th highest to be exact. Last year, the school's budget increased nearly 16%. But enrollment's been plummeting for years. So do you think more money for your students, better education, right? Not according to the folks I spoke to.
More money does not equal quality education.
Never.
So that's Yolanda. Her children are enrolled in Baltimore City schools. And between the education, or the lack thereof, and the crime crisis plaguing the city and its schools, she's terrified of sending her children there every day. 2 others who joined our conversation joined the growing movement as well. Homeschool in Baltimore, but that's not an option for everyone, nor is it covered. First, let's start with a former Baltimore teacher who finally had enough. You taught in Baltimore for 10 years. What made you decide to leave?
I would get students who were, coming to me in 6th grade who were on 2nd grade reading levels. Very rarely did you have students who were proficient and on grade level in reading and or math.
Do they encourage the educators to pass them along even though they aren't prepared for the next level?
When I was an educator, a child could only be held back one time in each part of their academic career. I've had kids tell me like, do what you want. I can't fail. I already failed last year. It's not like I can fail again, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I want you to talk about the violence in the schools. What is that like?
I can remember instances of students beating other students up, and I feel so bad, but I'm encouraged not to get involved, and so I have to follow protocol. But in the meantime, someone's child is getting beaten.
Do you have children now?
I do.
Would you send them to Baltimore schools?
No, that's why I homeschool.
Really?
Yeah.
Are the taxpayers in Baltimore getting a return on their investment on education?
No, I can't say we are. If we look around our communities, we look around, our schools, we look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie, people do. We look at the numbers, they're not lying to us. Our students in our schools really need some help.
The academic decline is no secret to parents. The number of Maryland homeschool students has spiked from 27,000 in 2019 to nearly 45,000 in 2022. To understand how students are affected, I spoke with 3 Baltimore City parents.
I've been here my whole life. I'm a product of Baltimore City schools. My mother was a product of Baltimore City schools. This is generational. This just didn't happen. You failed generations of families. So this is an intergenerational curse when it comes down to our school systems. Under different administrations, we have still seen the same results of parents failing, and unfortunately, parents can't teach their children how to read if they can't read.
Beth, you successfully homeschooled children, but there's a growing movement of parents that want to homeschool their children.
I started coaching parents, mostly mothers, how to homeschool in August of 2020. These parents were pulling their kids out of school in a panic situation, and they all had different boiling points of what was the last straw. So I'd put together their curriculums based on online free resources and going to the public library. What has been developed today is more of a housing program to put the kids in a space for 8 hours every day and give them busy work so both of the parents can work. And homeschool is something that you can do as working parents because you don't have all the busy work.
The youth homicide is up 67%. The shootings are up 55% from the same time last year. Yolanda, what runs through your mind?
Frustration. In order to understand the people, you have to be one of them. We have too many people making these decisions on education, on crime, on homelessness that never felt a struggle. They took 9 to 15 guns out of one school in Baltimore City this year. So children can't learn if they're not safe. It's bad enough the education system is failing them. Now we got crime and put on top of that. But children open the side door and let people in with guns. Nobody's monitoring anything.
Baltimore education budget is the 4th highest funded large school system in the country.
The navigator is the CEO of Baltimore City Schools, Dr. Santelises, who get paid more money than the president.
It's money management. We've seen it.
So you mean to tell me again, with a $1.62 billion budget, you can't educate, they can't bring a school book home, and you can't even keep a child safe?
The last number I heard was $16,000 to educate a Baltimore City student. And you can educate a homeschooler for, if you're going to buy curriculum, for less than $2,000.
Where is the transparency in the school district?
So a little asterisk replaced the scores. After all these years that they have put the scores, they replaced them with asterisks. What are we hiding?
You're not giving children financial literacy in school. When I was in school, they taught us how to balance a checkbook. See, certain things feel intentional. They protect the institutions, exactly, not the children, not the parent. Everybody's walking around is patting everybody on the back for a failed school system. They're closing down schools at a massive rate. And why is it 40 and 50 children in one classroom with one teacher?
If the schools don't succeed, the city doesn't succeed. And now we've just gone down to a fraction of what it used to be. Jobs have left. People have left. And we need people coming in, and people are afraid.
And it all goes back to education.
This is educational homicide at this point.
Yes, it is.
So we reached out to the Baltimore City Public Schools for a response, but we did not hear back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.